And this isn't going to be for everybody. I'm just pulling for whoever this resonates for. So again, this is for Libra, and this is about the connection. So if it's not your story, try again. There may be, it might have more relevance for you, but right now we'll just kind of get right into it. So the current connection, again, this doesn't have to be romantic. This can be friends, family, or who it is that's really on your mind that has some kind of significant value to you. And there seems to be some kind of situation where things are not going forward in a positive way, but yet there is something here that kind of states that there could be. So what I'm going to do is just go through the reading in terms of the generalities of the cards, and then we'll put it all together. So right off the bat, Eight of Wands tells me, and I'm dealing with things from more of an emotional perspective and feelings and actions towards you, that kind of thing. So it's less about, money and finance, that kind of thing, more along the lines of this direct connection. So whoever this resonates for, you're all going to be on a different timeline, but the Eight of Wands does indicate that there is some indicator of this. The Eight of Wands can represent fast incoming action or movement towards you, or it can also represent some level of anger or kind of a complexity here. And when it's next to the devil, it does tell me it's more anger related. It feels as though there's some kind of a situation where things are not coming out in somebody's processing something is what I would say there. There's still a lot of energy around being wronged or whatever. Nine of Pentacles, this is feeling a little more isolated. This could be you or them or both. But feeling more of a loneliness in a situation. It's not emotional at this point. So far, we're just sort of looking at some of the elements of solitude here, but again, with toxic thoughts, with the devil energy. Now, and that could also extend to toxic behaviors, all of that. We do have the Four of Wands here, which also indicates this could be around a family or stable situation, around something, again, that indicates that there is a level of familiarity here as well. Ten of Swords, this has been a lot of betrayal. There's been a lot of wrongs, or there's been a lot of distance in this connection as well. So again, we're going to pull it all through and do more detailed and tie it together, but right now we're just going through the cards individually. Ten of Cups, I would say in this case, this person does feel like this can be family. This can be somebody that feels that you bring a lot to the table and have made them happy at some point. So there is a lot of good emotion or history with you. However, there is also a big transition they're undergoing at this time with the Death card. So it does speak to shifts going on in regards to, again, could be family, could be somebody that you consider family. But either way, it's a very strong emotional connection and big transition taking place. So because of that, the Seven of Pentacles is all of this emotion processing. There's a lot still on the table that they're trying to figure out. So it's almost the questions that they would ask themselves about whether or not did they invest, and get back they had put into a situation. So that's so far what we've got. Now we're into the Ace of Cups. So this energy does speak to some kind of a new beginning. So whether it actually, the energy might be a trace amount of it, or at least they're thinking about it, there is something that's still on the table about a new start or some kind of emotional gesture that come forward in this immediate sort of month. However, it may be with the Page of Swords that there is still something that's a little bit of a distance yet, because Swords is sort of studying the situation, keeping a little bit of, spying sort of energy in around this. So it's almost like still trying to process whether or not they should go forward. However, the Nine of Cups tells me that there is a happiness. This person does see a lot of happiness with you. You do, on some level, make them feel as though they're very connected. And again, there's also something here that could indicate that there is something more positive coming in going for the Eight of Swords, that it's almost like this is self-sabotaging this card. So it does indicate that there is some distance that will not be coming in right away, but for sure there is a level of a little bit more to process before this person can come forward, because this is still not sure what they're doing yet. The Knight of Swords does indicate there could be some sharp communication, some kind of, I wouldn't say argument so much, because next to the King of Swords, this is this younger person, 20s, 30s. This could be King of Swords, Libra, Gemini, Aquarius energy. It definitely indicates that there is some form of distance between this connection for sure. And again, this is somebody that you know and have known for some time, just given whoever this relates to. This is what I see there. Oh, and hi there. Sorry, I was just trying to see the names. Sorry guys, I'm going to bring it up a little bit. Monster Jam and Jagged. Hello. So overall, what I see here is things are complicated, I would say, at this point. Now we're kind of getting into the Four of Cups. Again, more cards of distance. This is somebody emotionally that is feeling dissatisfied. There is not, they're still working through it. This is a nostalgic energy. They may be processing, you may be processing, and you may also be in the same energy here as well. But it's a little bit of apathy, depression, or something about the past. And so there's kind of a reminiscent sort of quality with that. Now, we also have the Queen of Swords. Again, more of the Libra, Gemini, Aquarius energy. Lots of mature energy here. So it's almost like there is a level of, with the Justice card coming out, you know, this could be you trying to find a certain sense of peace or an element of peace, or trying to find a level of fairness amongst the emotionality of the whole situation. The Chariot indicates you might be sort of departing. Maybe you do drive off somewhere as well, but there is a strong determination as well to kind of keep the peace, is what I would say there as well. And again, we're going to go through this and tie it all together in a second. The Magician does tell me there could be some level of manipulation with next Emperor. There's a level of wanting to be in control. There is still something that you're trying to bring into the situation. Oh yeah, no, I'm glad you did check it out, Jagged. But yeah, so either way, I do feel like this is a situation where things are going to, there's a lot of self-control. Even though I feel with the self-control, there is also a bit of a burnout energy here. This person also feels kind of at their full internally. But we also have something here that's coming through that indicates there is a level of still trying to work through things out. Again, somebody is a little bit overtaxed in terms of their resources, emotionally, financially, still a little too much on their plate here. Again, this could also be relevant to a female mother figure as well, but there is something here still dealing with monetary issues and abundance still being a factor. But again, the world cycle and a lot of these cards sort of indicate with the Ten of Cups and all of that, there is a new beginning that's about to be at hand, especially too when I see the Ace of Cups. There's something will be starting at some point once, depending on how quickly this processes with the other person. But the World card does indicate this is also you and problem as well, sort of bringing all of those lessons into, you know, amalgamating everything. So it's like looking at all of the things that you've gone through and coming full circle and trying to get a better understanding. Again, the Temperance card indicates still searching for a level of peace, but very close to finally getting to all this at some point, because there's so many cards of finishing up cycles. So again, and of course it is more of a victory card when we get to the World card and the Temperance. So this might be further out with the Temperance card. Okay, so now we're going to go back into it and kind of go through a little bit of this person's inner world, that kind of thing, the pressures that they might be dealing with and how they'll behave around you, that kind of thing, and what potential breakthroughs are. This is also a healing card as well, so there's still a lot that's going on. When we get to, sorry guys, I just kind of pulled over to do this. I want to go back into the Magician energy here, so we'll go back into there. All right, so the Magician energy next to the Emperor does indicate here we are still dealing with something around this person wanting to come across as being more controlled. They want to, there is a certain level of calculation coming to Magician energy. They're very emotionally guarded, I would say, very calculating. You know, this is somebody who wants to assert authority or independence. And of course, Magician, they're trying to manage their image and manipulate how they're being perceived. So something along that line. Now, we also had the Queen of Swords here. And this one, again, Libra, Gemini, Aquarius energy here. This, and again, is repeating, so it does strongly relate to that to me. But this one is all about, we had the Chariot that came out there as well. So again, there's strong movement to go forward, but it's, again, even in the way that they speak, and it could be you as well, but there's more of a communication that's a little bit more, oh, sorry, I was just reading your comment. Yeah, no, for sure. It's just, you know, explore, try different things for sure. But yeah, either way, Queen of Swords does indicate that there is something here about being more blunt emotionally and in the way that one communicates. So there is still a certain level of emotional distance here, you know, and it's almost like somebody's trying to prove a point. This person or yourself may feel wronged, and so they're trying to restore some sort of idea of fairness. In this is their version, although it's not sure of it because the Moon card had come out here as well. So the Chariot does indicate that they are moving forward, as are you. And I still feel like there is some level of emotional struggle going on. Now we get into Page of Swords I saw in here. So we'll go into, sorry guys, just trying to get my other card here. Okay, Page of Swords. Again, there's sort of this is a level of still some distance, but again, it's almost like they're in heart, over heart mode. A lot of the distance, a lot of the swords energy is here, which indicates there is kind of sharp words, a lot of mental acuity, quick thinking, quick, quick to defend, and also energy about, somebody who's active, they know how to handle the situation, or that they're ready to handle the situation. But what could be really going through their mind is, it's the pressure, it's the conflict that they're dealing with. And that's why there's so much level of control. They're trying to keep themselves, they want to be perceived in a certain way. So they're trying to keep themselves in the way that they choose to perceive themselves. So here again is weighing out the responsibilities with that Two of Pentacles. That was out here. So again, there's a weighing out of the responsibilities, feeling pressured to be in control. And again, that was where we had the energy of the Magician and the Emperor and Justice. Something too, because there is a level of healing that's still taking place. Now, we also had the Four of Cups energy. So this one kind of speaks to, again, with that Six of Cups, does show me that there's emotional detachment. Again, there's nostalgia, but there's still an unspoken hurt or loss or something that's going on there. When we get to the other cards of, sorry, that was the Ten of Swords that came as well. So the Ten of Swords, and we also had the Eight of Swords, which, sorry, that was the self-sabotaging energy. Ten of Swords, Eight of Swords, I mean, that's a progression, so there's still a lot of conflict for sure. And again, a lot of betrayal, a lot of heart space energy. But the 10 shows me that it's almost over. Like these are a lot of wrapping up cycles. World card came out here, 10 of Cups came out here. So you're almost done with this. Or they may be, processing this a little bit faster now. But the 10 of Swords, Eight of Swords, again, she feels trapped, betrayed in some area of life. So they're kind of mentally spiraling a little bit, but they're just not talking about it. So in terms of their feelings, okay, we're back into the Death card, which is the deep transformation. Second here, there we are. So the Death card came out again with the Ten of Cups, Seven of Pentacles, but the Death card is a deep transformation. And of course it also came out with the Seven of Pentacles. So it does indicate that they're seeing the old version of them move on. That old version is disappearing. And they're wondering if everything that they worked for, is actually the things that they invested in, has it been worth it? But the Devil energy came out here as well. So there's a certain level of toxicity and negativity in their thoughts. Still feeling very alone and isolated. But I would say that it's tied to more material expectations of where they thought they would be. And again, external appearances about how something is looking, how they're looking to other people as well. And so this person is craving independence and a level of self-worth and doesn't feel like they're living it. So there's also something here, that Ace of Cups energy, which is very positive. Sorry guys, just trying to find my other card there. But the Ace of Cups energy that came out, sorry, that was backtrack. So this is really good energy with the Ace of Cups. So that does tell me that there is still some movement forward. And again, it does indicate that there is Ace of Cups next to that Nine of Cups that came out there. And of course we had the Nine of Pentacles as well. So there is definitely something here that kind of speaks to things moving in a positive direction. There's a desire for emotional peace, self-love, all of that that's buried beneath kind of levels of shame or confusion. This person, I would say, really wants to do better. There's still a lot of hope, and there's still a lot of positivity, still a lot of softness, even though there's a certain level of quietness. We also have that Temperance energy that came out, like I said, that speaks to an end cycle, everything finishing up there. So you're almost there, you know, even if they're acting a little bit more aloof, sharp, or, you know, overly intellectual or very blunt in the way that they communicate, it still tells me that they're avoiding emotional vulnerability right now with that Six of Cups, Ace of Cups. But deep down, you know, there's still a longing for a connection with you, I would say. And so I feel like even though they're not expressing it because it would expose them in some way, you know, I feel like this person is really trying to appear self-directed, you know, Magician Chariot, and very strong. And they they may feel a little bit confused right now, again, because of that Devil energy, and a lot of energy of pulling back and just still wrapped up in their head. But either way, I feel like it's a bit of disillusionment there with the Four of Cups that came out and that Devil energy as well. It feels like they're just trapped and off course, but there will be some success in many ways, actually, for this other person, and probably for the whole of the connection further out. Again, in summary, might be feeling a little bit cold, short-tempered, preoccupied, and this person might act as though they don't care, but I would still say that they're trying to fall apart. They're trying to kind of keep themselves together and work through their issues, even though they're under internal pressure, and they might be projecting some of that outward to you. But either way, there's a strong sense of creating emotional safety is what I would say, or, you know, even though the person doesn't show their appreciation, I would say that they are an appreciation of you, and it's just they're working through some deeper emotional path. So again, there's an internal shift that they have to make. It's mostly emotional, which may not be something that you can do with at this time. Like, there's nothing that you can really do to sort of alter their course, but just keeping onto the path of peace, which is a bit of a delicate balancing act overall. But I still feel like there's a lot that they're trying to juggle in terms of emotions, priorities, and possibly egos are at play here. There is definitely energy coming through Empress World and Temperance that deals with healing, maturity, and grounded energy. And that Empress, of course, does suggest that you might be the one that's holding that energy there, or that space, and that compassion. But either way, the wheel, or the world card, does indicate that that cycle is coming to a close. Again, with the Ten of Swords, all of that Death card, deep transformations, big stuff happening. This connection is going through major upheaval, but for sure with the World card, this is a cycle that is coming to a complete end. Like, I don't mean end of the connection, but end of whatever the turmoil was. So it's not, it's leaning toward more of a resolution, not an eruption. So there's something there that speaks to emotional balance and just being careful with words and kind of holding that middle ground. Things should be still moving in the right direction. Overall, there are conflicted emotions here, but again, it's like they are feeling torn between wanting peace and wanting control, and emotionally, they may be buried or managing so much of their emotions that they can't express them, because to express them, things come out in, you know, may come out in a huge way, and they are not prepared for that. So there's something here about being diplomatic on the surface, but there's a lot of internal tension below. So again, it's more of a testing, calm, passive behavior. But I would say overall, it's still of a temperate kind of connection. So trying to keep the peace, and again, more of a calming sort of protective energy around this. So hopefully that gives you a little bit of insight, and keep moving forward, guys, and I'll see you in the next read. Thanks for showing up and watching my live.